Hi everyone, my name is Stuart Hartree and this is Forget the Facts podcast, and this is the introduction to this podcast. I published 2 books recently, The Modern Slave and The Misplaced Mind, and it's kind of led to this podcast now as a different medium and how to kind of engage with people. And the main aim of this podcast is to meet new people and get their view on life and what makes them tick, what's important to them, and also maybe just discussing anything really. The name's Forget the Facts, and people kind of give me a weird look when I told them what the name of the podcast is going to be, and they're like, "Oh, here's Stuart in. He's gone mad." But the reason why I called it Forget the Facts was we live in a world where everything has to be factual and you have to prove everything, and I kind of have that belief where people have this kind of inner spirituality and their kind of own mindset, and that's what I really want to tap into with this podcast. Things could get wacky and there could be fairly weird podcasts, but it's pretty cool and get to see how other people think about things. I've developed a lot in my own life due to meeting people from all different cultures and seeing how other people live, and really opened my mind and really made me to challenge kind of thoughts that I had in my own mind, and the way I view society and the world regarding institutions and social structures, and really changed my life and made me more critically aware of society, and especially inequalities and how structures work. And that's what I kind of really want to do, is really tap into the amazing people we have in society. And I want this podcast to be different, and the way I want it to be different is I want it to be open to everybody. The email is forget the facts podcast at gmail.com. Put the email at the end of this podcast, and simply all you have to do, send an email or message me on any of the social media platforms with your name or whatever contact details you think are relevant. We'll get you on the podcast 100%. Anybody who expresses interest will be on this podcast, and we will do a podcast. The way I want to structure the podcast is there's going to be no structure. And people are going to say, it's typical, yeah, sure, no structure. Definitely no structure. I'm not going to be sitting there with an agenda or questions. If I know you before the podcast, it's not going to change the way the podcast goes, really. Whatever comes out of it. And I think I'll provide that kind of natural environment and just leave things flow and see how it goes. And I really want it to be different. Every podcast I want it to be different. Even if you're in a different part of Ireland, I'm into travelling, and I aim to travel with this podcast, go to different countries and see how people take in different countries and how they take care. And if you think about it, society is a magical place, even in this time of chaos. Allows for a lot of different people, and people are different in so many ways. Even though we all think we're kind of the same and stuff, we're not. And that's what I really want to tap into, and allow people to show the beauty of being different and not try to hide it, to embrace it. And hopefully, if it brings a bit of comfort for people to do that, that's pretty much what I want to do with this podcast. I've had really cool conversations with people in the past, and I've always said, Jesus, it's a shame that I never get to share with people. So now this is the opportunity to do it in a nice, safe environment. And definitely, I just want to state again, this podcast is for everybody. If you don't have social media, just come up to me, get on to me somehow, let me know. I'll get you on the podcast, 100%. Hopefully first podcast will be in a month's time. I'd like to take this opportunity too to thank Paul and Louis. You know who you are, because having a clue how to use technology, and they helped me to get me to this point, recorded the first one. So I'm hoping to be on Spotify, and it'll be on SoundCloud and hopefully iTunes, but that's starting to become tricky, so a bit of work, we'll get there. I'm this far now, so it won't stop me anyway. So yeah, look forward to what way this podcast goes and what road it brings us all down. Yeah, so don't be expecting anything, that's all I tell you, because I'm not expecting nothing out of the podcast. But I'm hoping that it gives a platform for people who might have never been able to go on a podcast before, to get on, have a good chat, talk about whatever they want to talk about, and we learn something. And I think that's the most important thing these days, that we're open to learning and seeing how other people live, and might allow for greater acceptance in society. And if that comes out of this podcast, then I'll be happy. So thanks for taking the time to listen, and I hope you listen again when I get the first one up. Don't even know who I'm going to have on it, but we'll roll with it and we'll see how it goes. So be strong, stay strong, and keep your eyes looking forward. It's the most important thing in life. Keep them eyes up, keep the head up, and look forward and keep plowing on. So be strong. Until next time. Thank you.